Don't use print on demand. It's dead. There's no money in it.
There's no money in it.
It's oversaturated. There's no new or original ideas coming out. That's what everyone says, isn't it?
True, yeah, very true, yeah.
Well, I'm here to tell you that that is completely not true. Just the same way that people say that drop shipping or any of these other e-commerce businesses are dead, I'm here to tell you that that is 100% not true. As always, it's as easiest as it's ever been to get into, and because of that, there is a little bit of oversaturation. But that doesn't mean you can't make any money from it. Regardless of the e-commerce business that you're starting, there's always money to be made.
A lot of money.
So if you're looking to start a print on demand business, then don't start your print on demand business until you've watched this video. So today we're going to cover why you shouldn't start print on demand, but also why you should start print on demand. Not only that, but I'm also going to give you a few tips on how you can properly start your print on demand business so you can get started on a strong foot and hopefully start bringing in some sales earlier rather than later. Now let's go ahead and get into it. Now before we do get started, I want to know exactly what you think about print on demand. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Have you tried it? Have you heard of it? Let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, so first things first, what exactly is print on demand? Well, print on demand is a fulfillment service. So essentially what happens is you're going to create your own designs. Then after you create your own designs, whether that be using Photoshop, any web service, or even outsourcing the work, then you're going to decide what products you're going to put them on. When it comes to what you can put them on, you really have an endless amount of possibilities. You can put them on t-shirts, you can put them on hoodies, you can put them on cups, on mugs, on blankets, shower curtains, posters, mats, keychains, literally almost anything that you can think of, you can print using print on demand. Then you need to have a marketplace that you're going to sell on. That can be either your own website or an already established marketplace. So you can set up shop on something like Shopify, or you can set up shop on Etsy, eBay, and even Amazon. Amazon, however, is a little bit different. So I'm going to get into that a little bit later on. So just stick with me for a few minutes. Now, before we go ahead and continue, I want to give you all a little bit teaser of something that's to come in the near future. So pretty soon, we are super excited to announce that AutoDS will be supporting print on demand services. That's all I can say right now. I don't know if I was even supposed to say anything in the first place, but take that as a little bit of a teaser for what's to come. And if you're excited about that, if you're excited about print on demand, if you want to learn more about it, along with the ins and outs of dropshipping, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Now, continuing on, after you choose your marketplace, after you choose where you're going to sell it, then you have to choose a provider that's going to print those items for you. In which case, the two most common ones are going to be Printful and Printify. Now, each one of these services provides full-on printing. Personally, I have used Printify in the past, and these are just a few of the items that you can offer. So here you can see that you can print on posters, on canvas wraps, on pillows, tote bags, t-shirts, bikinis, koozies, shorts. Like I said, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Now what happens is that after you design your items using Printify or Printful, you're going to take the mockups and you're going to add them to your store. Again, whether that be your Shopify store or your Etsy store, just a quick note, those two are the most common for print on demand. So most people that are doing print on demand are going to be selling on Etsy or Shopify. Of course, you do have the option to sell on different platforms, but those are just two of the most common ones. Now, the easiest way that you can start importing some of these listings into your store is going to be by simply connecting your supplier, whether that be Printify, Printful, or whichever one you choose, to your online store. So that way, whenever somebody places an order, it's going to be automatically rerouted to your supplier, and then they're going to go ahead and print out the product and ship it to your customer. The process itself is pretty similar to drop shipping, except with the differences in the products and the ability to customize so deeply. Now, what I just explained to you is called active print on demand. So when it comes to print on demand, there are two different types of print on demand services. There's the active, which is the one that I just explained, in which case you're going to be working with two different sites. Again, your supplier and the place that you're going to be selling on, and you're going to have to periodically be updating your items, working on your store, working on marketing. You would have to be a bit more active with it than you would typically be with a passive print on demand service. Now, what exactly is a passive print on demand service, and how does it compare to an active print on demand service? Well, simply put, with a passive print on demand service, you're pretty much going to have everything in one website. Some common websites for passive print on demand are going to include Redbubble, Teespring, and Amazon Merch on Demand, formerly known as Merch by Amazon. So the difference here is, like I mentioned, you are going to have just one central website where you're going to do everything. So on these three different websites, you can go ahead and create your design, make your mockup, and list it directly for purchase from these websites. So instead of going to Etsy or your own website to make the purchase, these services will allow you to sell directly on their platform. That in itself takes a huge chunk of the work out of it. But remember that your profits in something like this could be a little bit lower. Now that you know the different types of print on demand services that there are, let's go ahead and start talking about why some people say that you shouldn't start print on demand. The first one is oversaturation. Well, I'm pretty sure you've heard that practically every business out there at this point is oversaturated. You tell somebody you want to start a dropshipping business, they're going to tell you it's oversaturated. You tell somebody you want to start printing t-shirts, they're going to tell you it's oversaturated. You're going to tell somebody that you want to start print on demand, they're going to tell you that it's oversaturated. You want to become a software engineer, it's oversaturated. Everyone's learning about computers and coding. Everything at this point is going to be oversaturated. There's so many people in this world that it's impossible to have something that doesn't have a lot of people in it already. But that doesn't mean that you can't succeed in any field. One of the main things when it comes to success in any one of these different types of e-commerce businesses is the ability to stand out and find niches that aren't really saturated. There's tons of different niches out there that people aren't into. When it comes to niching down, you can get very, very specific and still have a good amount of people that you can advertise to, or people that would want to buy your product. Take, for example, the pet niche. Of course, everyone is going to be in the pet niche, but did you know that you can niche down even further than just a generic pets? So you can niche down to dogs. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of people in the dogs niche, not as many as the entire pets niche, but it's still going to be a good amount of people. But from there, then you can continue niching down even more. So let's say you niche down to dogs, then you can niche down to poodles. You can niche down to Rottweilers. You can niche down to pit bulls. Of course, those are some of the more popular breeds that there are, but if you start looking into it and you start learning a little bit more about dogs and the different types of breeds that there are, you're going to realize that there's a community for practically every single breed out there. And each one of those communities is a different demographic that you can target. The next reason why people say that you should not start print on demand is because there's no quality control. Well, just like any other e-commerce business out there where you don't necessarily have to see the product before actually shipping it out, quality control can be tough, but that doesn't mean that there is no quality control. There's a few different ways that you can always guarantee good quality. One of them is by simply looking at reviews. When it comes to print on demand, depending on the website that you're working with, like take for example Printify, you can choose different companies to print your merchandise. So after you design your product, you're going to pick somebody to print it. Now typically you're given these options so you can find printers in the certain locations that you're going to be selling to. So some are going to be in the US, some are going to be in the UK, some are going to be in Australia, some in Germany, and it's up to you to choose which one you think would be best for you. Now of course there's going to be a ton of different printers to choose from, and that's why you need to check out their different reviews. They all have reviews. You can read what people are actually saying about them. You can see pictures that reviewers have uploaded, so you're not blindly going into this and just picking a random supplier. If you are, then you're doing it wrong. You need to make sure that you check out the different reviews and see what people are saying. Now on top of that, you can also order a sample. You don't have to order a sample of every single product that they offer, but you can order a sample of maybe 2 or 3 different things. And the best thing is that when you do decide to order a sample, most sellers or platforms that you're sourcing your item from are going to give you a discount. There's always some sort of sample discount, so you can sample their products and see if you like them and see if it works for you. So just as a quick example, you can go ahead and order a t-shirt so you can see how the print is going to be on t-shirts, and with that you can get an idea of how it's going to be on hoodies and even shorts. And then you can order something like a cup or a tumbler, so that way you can see how the printing quality is going to be like on drinkware. And if you're going to be selling these types of items, then you can also order a shower curtain, and that can also give you a similar idea of how your prints are going to look like on something like, let's say, a mouse pad. Personally, I've only ordered maybe 2 or 3 different samples, and for the most part I just blindly ship them. I just make sure that the reviews are good before actually choosing a printing supplier. Now speaking of samples and customization, when it comes to customization, while you do have creative freedom and you have the ability to customize practically any product, when it comes to that customization, you're going to be limited in certain aspects. And that's the next reason why some people say don't start prints on demand. Now when I say that you're going to be limited in certain aspects of customization or personalization, what I mean is extremely detailed and creative things. So let's take for example, you're a creative, you have a creative mind, and you have an idea for maybe a hoodie or something like that that has patches all over the place. With print on demand, that's not something you can do. They don't offer patches pretty much anywhere on the shirt or on a hoodie or whatever it may be. While you can sell your custom patches for people to put on whatever merchandise they want to, you can't ask a print on demand supplier to get a particular hoodie or a t-shirt and just fill it up with different patches with different icons on it or whatever it may be. It's way too much work for a print on demand supplier, and it's not something that they're going to do. Another example could be, lately I've seen hoodies or t-shirts that are split in half and they're sewn together with 2 different parts of 2 different garments. Again, that's not something that you're going to be able to ask for. Things like this need to be done in-house. So it's something that you're going to have to find your own supplier for, either locally or you're going to have to reach out to people that specialize in these kinds of things. When it comes to things like t-shirts, a lot of the times you can get designs or writing on them that sticks out. Some of them can be puffy, some of them can be like little brick, some of them could be really thick so that way it sticks out of the shirt. Those are things that you're not going to be able to do with print on demand. So if you're looking to get highly customized with your items, or you have a bunch of different really creative ideas with very specific customized pieces, then print on demand might not work for you.
Noted.
But let's say you have a design that you drew or you came up with using AI or you outsourced, you can put that on practically anything you want. As long as you're printing a design, you're not going to have any issues. Next up, print on demand has a very bad rep. A lot of people talk so much crap about print on demand the same way they do about a lot of other e-commerce businesses. And please don't let that deter you away. Think about it this way. People tend to focus on the negative reviews rather than the positives. A lot of the times whenever you go to a restaurant or to a store and you have a bad experience, you're a lot more compelled to leave a bad review, right? If you have a good experience at a store or just a basic experience at a store, typically speaking, you're not going to be writing a review. You're going to completely forget about it and you're just going to go on with your life. Because of that, people tend to focus on the bad more rather than the good. But if you start comparing it to all of the different other reviews, you're going to see that, let's say for example, you have a 4 or 4.5 star rating, the negative reviews are going to be minimal compared to the positive reviews. So don't let word of mouth get to you. Don't let it discourage you. And most importantly, don't let it stop you from actually starting one of these businesses. Remember, a lot of the times the people that talk crap about it and the people that talk bad about these different things are the people that didn't succeed for one reason or another. And the last reason I'm going to cover is profit margin. Now, yes, when it comes to print on demand, you're going to have a lesser profit margin than you would if you were to, let's say, print these items yourselves. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're not really doing a lot of the work. All you're doing is just designing, putting it on mockups, and that's pretty much it. You're not fulfilling orders, you're not shipping anything, you're not printing anything. All you have to do is create more designs, do a little bit of product research, and come up with more mockups. That's pretty much it. Now, because of that, because you're saving so much time and you're not fulfilling any orders manually, you have the ability to focus more on your sales and more on your marketing. So while you do have less of a profit margin, you're still going to be making either the same or even more money because you can focus your time more on actually getting more sales and marketing your products. Now, let's talk about why you should start print on demand. Well, for one, starting print on demand is extremely easy to get into. Making designs now is easier than it's ever been. There's tons of different services online, some of which are completely free that you can use to start coming up with different designs. So if you're not a designer or if you're not really good at it, but you do have a vision of certain things that you want to print or design, then you can use an online service to help you get started. Now, just to name a couple of services that can help you out with designing, first off, you have Kittl. Kittl is a paid service, but you also have access to a bunch of free different features on there. But just as a quick overview, they have AI tools, some of which can help you remove backgrounds. Others are image generators, so you just tell it what to come up with and it'll design it for you. And they also have an AI quote generator, so you can come up with different quotes on the fly. On top of that, they have a bunch of other features that are actually really well worth it. So Kittl is something that could be worth checking out. Another option that you have is Vexels. So with Vexels, it is a paid service as well, but you have access to hundreds upon thousands, I don't even know how many they have, different designs that are actually really cool. Like look at this one right here. It's a variation of the Starry Night. They have this skeleton one over here. They're good designs. They're mature designs. They're not corny. They're not cheesy. But if that is something that you're looking for, you know, like the corny designs, you can look for them on here and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find a few of them. Aside from that, you can simply just go on Etsy. You can type in whatever you want, let's say alien, and type a file name right next to it. So PNG or JPEG. So right now I just looked for alien PNG, and these are all of the different designs that they're offering on Etsy. Now, after you have the design that you want to print, then you actually need to make the mockups, which a lot of people think that could be really hard because of the fact that you might need to use Photoshop. But that's not the case with print on demand. Pretty much any supplier website that you're using, like Printify, Printful, Redbubble, Teespring, whatever it is, they have mockup generators. So once you upload your design, they're automatically going to create the mockups for the different products that you want to offer. From there, you can make any adjustments or you can tweak it however you want before actually making it go live on your site or your store. Now, with the integration of the selling platform and your supplier, or by simply using an all-in-one website like Amazon Merch on Demand, you can also enjoy the benefit of automation. So you really don't have to do anything when it comes to fulfilling the orders. Somebody places the order on your store, that's going to be automatically rerouted to your supplier and they're going to get the printing done and shipped out. You don't even have to pay for the item because you can put your credit card or your debit card in file and it'll be charged automatically. And of course, with automation comes a lot less steps, so you have a lot more free time to keep on focusing on your sales and your marketing, so you can keep bringing in more and more customers, more sales, more profits. Print on demand also has a massive product catalog. Like I mentioned earlier, you can print anything from t-shirts to beach towels to even sandals. And on top of that, another reason why you should start print on demand is because there's no minimum order quantity. A lot of the times with a certain business, if you want to have customized items, you probably have to order in bulk. More than likely, you're going to have to order in bulk. But with print on demand, because of the ease of actually printing on these different products, you don't have a minimum order quantity. Somebody can order just one if they need to. So if somebody just wants one mug and one t-shirt, that's perfectly fine. There's no problems with that. And last but not least, when it comes to why you should start print on demand, it's easy to go global. You can go international whenever you choose, or you can go international from the start. Print on demand companies have printers all around the world, so you can get your products to your customers pretty quickly. Now, just a couple of quick tips on how you should start print on demand. For one, focus on getting sales. I know with print on demand, sometimes it could get discouraging because you have to offer your products at a lower rate, which means you can have lower profits. But at the beginning, focus on getting more sales. You can focus on raising your profit margins later, because honestly, what good will it do if you can be getting some massive profit margins, but you're not getting any sales? I would rather have tons of sales with a smaller profit margin than only a handful of sales with a fairly okay profit margin. Because let's be realistic, you're not going to be able to double or triple your investment on each one of these products. If a shirt is costing you $15 to print, you're probably going to be selling it around $25. More than likely, if you sell it for $40 or $50, you're not going to be getting any sales. So when starting, focus on learning the business, focus on learning what works, and focus on getting more sales rather than getting higher profit margins. Later on, once you're established, you know what you're doing, you know how everything works, then you can start to focus on starting to raise your profit margins. Another quick tip to get started on a strong foot is if you're not getting any sales, it's not going to be because of the business model. It's going to be either because of your product or because of your marketing. Remember, the business model is not to blame for you not getting any sales. You have to tackle your marketing, you have to tackle your products in different angles. If you notice that something's not worth it, then start to focus your attention on something else. Come up with different designs, come up with different products, try different niches, try different niched designs. You might realize that a certain design will work better on a mug than it will on a t-shirt, and then sometimes it'll work better on a pair of sandals, let's say, rather than a shower curtain. Try different products, try different designs, try different marketing techniques, different marketing tactics, and just make sure to switch things up. Make sure that you don't spend too much time and too much money trying to market one product that's not selling. And that's why you should not start print on demand, at least until you watch this entire video. So if you did watch this entire video, huge thank you for sticking around all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. Please, since you made it this far, just go ahead and smash that like button. And while you're there, make sure you hit that subscribe and ring that little bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos. It really helps me out, it really helps the channel, and it helps us grow so that way we can keep bringing you the most updated information in the dropshipping and pretty soon print on demand business. Once again, huge thank you to everyone for watching. My name is Mario with AutoDS, and catch you all next time.